Gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus. We're back after a month vacation. We're finally back, and only to finish things up roughly, because today we're going to be tackling the final launch dungeon for World of Warcraft Cataclysm, and that would be the Halls of Origination. So let's go ahead and get things started. So this is the final instance that you can get in Uldum, and people might remember that we had quests that led into the Vortex Pinnacle, where we went into the Realm of Air. We had the Lost City of the Tol'vir, which is basically where we started in Uldum. Here is kind of like the wrap-up area, because now we get to help out, not Hemmet Nessingwary, but Bran Bronzebeard discovered the secrets of the Halls of Origination. Now, I want to get us down to the portal in this massive pyramid before I read the description for this, or the lore for it. And this is actually the biggest dungeon in Cataclysm. It actually had a whopping 7 to 8 bosses, I believe. And most of them were optional, but you did actually have to make your way through a few of them to be able to finish the dungeon. So let's go ahead and go into the lore of the Halls of Origination. Constructed by the great titans, the Halls of Origination are filled with ancient relics and fearsome guardians that protect them. Rumors abound that the complex also contains a devastating weapon capable of reordering all life on Azeroth. Deathwing has moved to obtain this terrifying device through his agent Alakir the Windlord. Thus far, the facility's communication systems have been fully corrupted, but the weapon inside continues to elude Deathwing's grasp. So, people might remember back in the Ulduar days, like, Algalon the Observer was threatening to re-originate this planet if it still showed systemic corruption. This is actually the weapon he would have used to re-originate the planet, to re-terraform it into a place that would be a little bit more positive in the Titans' grand scheme of things. So here is the Halls of Origination. Still as cool as it was when I actually walked in here the first freaking time. Let's go ahead and take care of these guys. Now, let me just go ahead and turn off the auto loot, because I still want to be able to check these guys and get some money out of it. I am running low on money, as you guys can kind of see. A lot of that stuff went away when Warlords questing happened. Here we go. Woo! Let's kill these guys off. And the cool part about this dungeon also was that it actually was pretty lengthy in the long run. I mean, the bosses were split out evenly, but it's still a pretty long dungeon and still pretty awesome to go through. In fact, we're actually coming up on the first boss. This is his room. So let's go ahead and take care of these rune casters and fire shapers. And here is our first boss, Temple Guardian Anhur, and let's go ahead and go over his lore really quick. In the final days of the Halls of Origination's use by Titanic forces, Temple Guardian Anhur was endowed with willpower needed to wield the light. Thus empowered, he was charged with judging the purity of those entering the facility. So he's kind of your litmus to see if you're pure of heart to be able to enter the facility. We don't care because, boom!
These halls must not be disturbed.
Now, the fun part is that eventually this guy would erect a barrier, and you'd actually have to go down into this pit of snakes to deactivate the barrier, and he would even sing to you, and it would do a lot of damage. But since I nuked him, and it's not that much of a problem. But there you go. We have gained access into the Halls of Origination, so now we need to make our way further into the complex. And you guys can already see in the boss list, you're probably sitting there going, "But Drak, I thought you said this was the longest one. There's only 4." 4 mandatory. You have to kill them, bosses. But there are optional bosses in here as well. So we're going to take those on first. And now we actually get a little bit of a fork in the road. You can actually go left and continue things on in the dungeon. I would actually recommend that you start off right, because one of your mandatory bosses is this way. And we have to go through the Tomb of the Enrager, or the Earth Rager, to get access to him. So I'm just going to go ahead and run through this area and grab as many of these guys as I can. Here we go. There we go. We killed them all off. Now, for some reason, this takes us into a sub-area within the pyramid that I've never been able to actually find on the outside. And if you guys could point out to me where it is, I would love to know. But this is the next room that we're going to be walking into, which is outside of the complex. Oh, but first, let's go ahead and kill these dustbone horrors. Now, technically, you can grab these camels on the way in, and I'd recommend you do it because if you want to have the camel mount that you can get with the Ram Kahan rep, this will give you kind of a feel of how the model runs. Plus, it's also very helpful if you were walking in to this next boss, Earth Rager Ptah. Mainly because the camels actually help with one of his abilities, so that you don't take damage from it. But let's go ahead and go over the lore of Earth Rager Ptah. Outside Earth Rager Ptah's tomb, the sand is littered with the bones of creatures purified by Anhur. It is said that Ptah can bend these remains to his will and send them against beings who manage to elude the facility's first line of defense. And as you can see, he is a Lord Marrowgar clone, at least more fiery looking. But we don't care because he's dead. Oh, cool. We actually got a new appearance out on the matter, too. And if you go all the way over here, you actually can get access to a teleporter that will take you back out to the main area within the facility. So you get this cool little tomb that you can walk into with some Titan architecture. But at the same time, you get this Halls of Origination transit device that brings us back to the Maker's Rise. Now, like I said, this is one of the mandatory areas you have to go through. This next one is what unlocks this part, which is an elevator. So let's go ahead and go on in here, which is more of the same annoying trash. I actually remember the trash in here being supremely annoying up until this point because you have these nasty guys. Thankfully, they're not too hard, but back in the day, if you didn't know what you were doing, you could get people killed real easy. So here is Bran Bronzebeard. We were supposed to meet him here in the Halls of Origination. Let's go and talk to him.
Me wherever the action is.
Ah, about time you showed up, lad. Now let's get going. There's work to be done. Yes, there is. So, great you found your way here. No time to waste, you ready? So, penetrating their defenses. Here we go, Drakfu. Just beyond that door lies the control room. I'll just run in, disable the reorigination mechanism, and we'll all go home. Nice and easy. You see, lad, it's this level of preparation that separates a true archaeologist from your average treasure hunter. Like that Harrison Jones, what the hell? No sense in stirring up the beasties if you don't have to. Just make a mess of things.
Travel safe.
So, all you gotta do is talk to him again.
Knowledge.
And
in our grasp.
We're ready to go, Bran.
Don't do anything I
Right,
wouldn't do.
let's go. Just need to input the final entry sequence into the door mechanism, and... that did the trick. The control room should be right behind this. Oh, wow.
That's a big room. That is a very big room.
What? This isn't the control room. There's another entire defense mechanism in place, and the blasted rock trogs broke into here somehow. Trogs. Why did it have to be trogs? Okay. Let me think a moment.
Okay.
Mirrors pointing all over the place. 4 platforms with huge elementals. Ah, got it! I saw a tablet that mentioned this chamber. This is the Vault of Lights. Okay, simple enough. I need you adventurers to take out each of the 4 elementals to trigger the opening sequence for the far door.
Okay, so this is basically an event, and you are timed for this for an achievement, so make sure you go through here as fast as you can. All you have to do, you don't even have to take out the trogs if you don't want to. You just have to take out these 4 elementals. So, like, that's kind of the main way to do this fast back in the day. You had to avoid the trogs like the plague. As you can see, I'm doing a horrible job of it right now, but that's just because I can easily insta-nuke anything they toss at me. Okay. Let's take care of these guys. And there's the Flame Warden. Let's see if we can buzz past these trogs.
Oh, another one down. Just look at those light beams. They seem to be connecting to the far door.
So as you can see, we have a bunch of mirrors now reacting and sending light all the way across to the door. And it's activated 2 of these, but we need to activate the other 2 on the door. Thankfully, we know how to do that, because we still have an Earth Warden. We've taken care of air and fire, but we still need to take care of the water and Earth Wardens. So in here is where the Earth Warden is. Oh, I love that design. I really wish I could have an Earth Elemental with that.
One more elemental to go. The
There we
door
go.
is almost open.
So that's 3. And let's go ahead and just buzz through these trogs. I don't even care, because I'm not going to aggro them. And finally, let's take out the Water Warden. Come here, Water Warden. I also want a Water Elemental like that. That's really cool looking. Faster than the speed of light, because I did the timed run. Okay, now that we have all 4 taken care of, technically this door should now open.
That's it. You've done it. The vault door is opening. Now we can... Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Boss time. Let's stay out of the way really quick.
This unit has been activated outside of normal operating protocols. Downloading new operational parameters. Download complete. Full unit self-defense routines are now active. Destruction of foreign units in the system shall now commence.
Okay, let's go ahead and go over the lore for the next boss, Anrafet. The Anrafet maintenance unit was created to man the inner workings of the Halls of Origination. In the event that the facility is contaminated by foreign entities, Anrafet will access programs designed to annihilate the intruders by any means necessary. So basically, we opened the door, we're not supposed to, and now he needs to take care of us.
Shutting down.
Fine job he did of that. Now, the cool part is
Done
that
it. The control room is breached.
all we gotta do is wait for Bran to get over here, we can turn in the quest. You know, that one thing that I keep on having a problem doing in these videos. Thankfully, you don't miss too much in that process, but just me claiming rewards and saying, oh, the day is saved. But, yeah, this one has additional lore, so we might as well do it. Let's go and go
Here
into the
we
control
go.
room.
Now, this should only take a moment.
I'm sure it will only take a moment, Bran. Let's find out what you have to learn here. Go ahead, type vigorously on this keyboard, I guess. One of those things. Let's go ahead and turn this in.
Here.
Well, I've got bad news, and I've got... Nah, scratch that. There's only bad news. Doing it the hard way. Blast it all! Someone's gone and corrupted the entire system! There'd be no way for me to access the main repository from this console. We're gonna have to do this the hard way, lad. I hope you and your friends are here up for a fight. There'll be 4 guardians on the upper floor of this place. I won't be able to utilize these discs till they be offline, shall we say. So, this is where it gets interesting because, again, these are bonus objectives, and this quest actually requires that you kill them. So, yes, you have Raj, Construct of the Sun, but you also have his 3 other compatriots. That's why this is a 7-boss dungeon. Because in some cases, you wanted to kill these bosses. They actually had some really good items for people. I remember there was a good healer trinket. I remember there was a good ranged DPS and melee DPS trinket. You wanted to take care of this stuff. And let's go ahead and take the elevator, and we'll show this off. Oh, look at all the pipes into the upper floor. So, you'll notice that there's green, blue, purple, and this one is the last one. It's going to be Raj. Well, let's go ahead and start off with the blue one. As you can see, it has its own little set of trash, and here is Isiset, Construct of Magic. So we need to take care of her in order to get the analysis and logs information that Bran wants. So we'll take care of only one of these guys, and let's go ahead and read the lore of Isiset, Construct of Magic. Isiset, serves to regulate the arcane energies contained within and produced by the Halls of Origination. Legend has it that this construct has become enraptured with her own arcane mastery and the perfection which it seemingly endows her. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of Isaset.
What do you see?
I see a lot of things. Doesn't really matter too much either. Hi, buddy. There we go. Leg wraps of Astral Rain. Okay, so our next goal... I need to remember which one is green. That's green right there. Yep. Oh. Keep me going down the stairs, buddy. Okay. Yes, so this is where Raj is. Raj is technically the final boss of the dungeon, but we're not going to take him out yet. We're going to go to Amon, Construct of Life. As you can see, he's got some things going on in his courtyard as well. Some living vines, some dryads. Huh, things are going on in his area. This is kind of interesting. We'll take care of at least one of these guys so we can walk in. And here's the lore for Amon. Oh crap, I forgot. These guys come back to life. Boom! I'm glad I checked that. So, Amon, Construct of Life. Although designed to reduce Azeroth to its base elements, the reordering system inside the Halls of Origination also creates new life. To that end, the construct Amon regulates the natural energies coursing through the facility to ensure that life will exist on a reforged Azeroth. Hi, buddy. You look kind of fell-touched. And you're dead. I think this was the guy that had the healing trinket, because a lot of his stuff is kind of healer-based. You actually had to stop this guy from healing himself. I remember that much from the fight. And with Isaset, you had to... basically, every time she split, you would kill off one of her main abilities, and then she wouldn't have access to it, but her other stuff would get stronger. So that made it even harder. And finally, we need to go down this path for the last optional boss, which is Satish, Construct of Destruction. Let's go ahead and step on into his area, which is very void-touched. It's almost like he serves the void, or maybe darkness and destruction. One of the two. Now, this one I don't think, yeah, you can't avoid not pulling everything else in the area. But there we go. Let's go ahead and go over the lore of Satish. Given the purpose of the Halls of Origination, the Titans deemed it necessary to create Satish, a construct who holds sway over the powers of destruction. Should Satish ever fall to corruption, the results would be disastrous. And he's kind of like a warlock, so he's not too difficult to take down. There we go. Oh, and look at that. We actually took care of the bonus objectives. Yee! And we got some more experience out of it. Should that even matter? Not really. Okay, so finally, there's only one boss to take down, and that is Raj, Construct of the Sun. Now, the cool part about these guys is they're actually named after Egyptian gods, so that's awesome, in my opinion. But here is Raj, Construct of the Sun, named for Ra. He's not too hard to get to. His trash is actually probably the most simple, as long as you know what it's about. And I will show you right here. The only thing that makes his trash hard is the fact that it splits. So basically, you're in for a long haul if you don't realize this. Whee! Oh, look, and now we have even more people coming out. And they're all dead. All right, here is the lore for Raj. Raj oversees the energies that have both sparked life and snuffed it out in an untold number of his kin. Considering the mightiest of his fellow constructs, Raj holds the power to unleash the fury of 1,000 suns upon Azeroth. And he has a lightsaber. That's cool, too. All right. Boom. Hey, Raj. Son of a...
Be gone from here.
And that's actually, I think, the melee one? Yes, this was like a melee warrior's dream was the right eye of Raj. I think the left one is agility, so... And that actually does it for the Halls of Origination. We took on every single boss, and that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. So when we get back, we will begin the the launch raids of Cataclysm, starting by re-entering the Realm of Air and ascending to the Throne of the Four Winds. We'll see you guys then.